Formula One is only one race into its new 2026 era, but the paddock is already on fire. After the Australian Grand Prix, a storm of criticism has erupted over the new regulations. Something has to change, and fast. The complaints are severe, and the FIA is under immense pressure to intervene. The biggest point of contention is the new 50-50 split between the internal combustion engine and the electric motor. On paper, it sounds like a technological marvel, but in practice, it has turned races into a glorified economy run. Drivers are more concerned with managing their battery than with racing flat out. This leads to bizarre situations on track, where cars suddenly lose speed on the straights because they need to harvest energy. Lando Norris, the reigning world champion, was perhaps the most outspoken critic. He called the new cars probably the worst in Formula One history. His biggest concern is safety. The speed differences between cars with and without energy can be as high as 50 kilometers per hour. When someone hits someone at that speed, you're going to fly. Max Verstappen, who had to start from the back of the grid after a crash in qualifying, shared that frustration. Despite an impressive recovery drive to 6th place, he was anything but happy afterwards. His team radio during the race spoke volumes. "Mate, my battery is nearly empty," and "deployment, I exit self again," he fumed. On the cool-down lap, he summed it up. "This is super frustrating to drive." It's a sentiment shared by many drivers, and even Red Bull Junior Isaac Hajar, who had to park his car, called the performance embarrassing. In addition to energy management, there's also a lot of controversy surrounding the new active aerodynamics, particularly the straight mode. In special zones on the circuit, drivers can adjust both the front and rear wings to reduce drag. The problem is that some of these zones are not on completely straight sections, but in fast-flowing corners. George Russell, the winner of the race in Melbourne and a director of the Grand Prix Drivers Association, GPDA, raised the alarm. He is concerned about the stability of the cars. "Having experienced the race today and battling, the only thing I would request from the FIA is that with the straight mode, the front wing doesn't drop as aggressively," he said. "When I was behind Charles and I was trying to duck out of his slipstream, it was like my front wing wasn't working. So I think from a safety aspect, that would make the racing safer, better." The FIA had already almost intervened in Australia. After complaints on Friday about the 4th straight mode zone from turn 7 to 9, it was decided to deactivate it. But after protests from other teams, that decision was reversed. It shows the dilemma the FIA is in, enforcing the rules but also listening to the safety concerns of the drivers. As if that weren't enough, there are also the controversies surrounding the race starts and the compression ratio of the Mercedes engine. The new turbos need more time to warm up, leading to dangerous speed differences at the start. And Mercedes seems to have found a loophole with their engine, giving them a significant advantage. This has led to a vote to change the rules mid-season, something that has infuriated Mercedes' customer teams. The reactions from the paddock are divided. On one side are the drivers, who are overwhelmingly critical of the new rules. On the other side are the team bosses and the FIA, who are calling for patience. Nicolas Tombazis, the FIA's single-seater director, has announced that the situation will be reviewed after the race in China. "We have a few tricks up our sleeves, which we didn't want to introduce ahead of the first race as a knee-jerk reaction," he said. Possible adjustments include changing the balance between energy harvesting and deployment, adjusting the boost limits, or even increasing the power of the internal combustion engine. James Vowles, team principal of Williams, is one of those urging caution. "The worst thing we can do is change it and make it worse," he warned. He acknowledges that the rules may have become too complicated, but believes the product is still good. Toto Wolff of Mercedes agrees, emphasizing that the spectacle for the fans must come first. Jonathan Wheatley, the new team boss of Audi, and Ferrari's CEO Benedetto Vigna also urge calm. Wheatley found the fascinating energy battle to be great, and Vigna wants to wait a few more races before giving a final opinion. This division creates a clear tension. The drivers, the heroes of the sport, feel unheard and are concerned about safety and the essence of racing. The team bosses and the FIA are trying to see the bigger picture, represent the interests of the manufacturers, and avoid making hasty decisions. The result is a sport at a crossroads. The coming weeks, with the race in China as the next test case, will be crucial. The call for change is loud and clear. The question is not if the FIA will intervene, but when and how. The soul of Formula One is at stake. The term that perhaps best summarizes the dissatisfaction is Formula Net Zero, a cynical nickname circulating on social media and in the press. It's a direct jab at the focus on sustainability, which critics say has come at the expense of everything that once made Formula One great. The screaming V10 engines have been replaced by whispering hybrid systems, and pure racing has given way to a strategic game of energy management. Fans complain that watching a race has turned into staring at a battery indicator. The many overtakes in Melbourne, which the FIA proudly touted, are seen by many as fake. It's not a battle on the limit, but simply the result of one car having energy and the other not. It's like passing a truck on the highway, as one fan aptly put it. Little skill, little drama. The criticism is not limited to the fans. Martin Brundle, a respected commentator and former driver, has also joined the chorus of critics. He called the situation in Australia crazy and is advocating for changes. The fact that drivers have to lift off the throttle on the straights and even downshift to harvest energy goes against everything racing stands for. The image of cars approaching the fast chicane of turns 9 and 10 out of puff, a corner now relegated to a charging station, is a thorn in the side for many. The FIA and the team bosses calling for patience do have a point. The rules are extremely complex, and their effect on different circuits is still unknown. Melbourne, with its many acceleration zones, is one of the toughest circuits for energy management. It's possible that the problem will be less prominent on other circuits, such as Suzuka. However, Shanghai, with its extremely long straight, is seen as the ultimate test. If the problems worsen there, the pressure on the FIA will become unbearable. James Valls revealed that there are already 4 or 5 different proposals on the table to improve the situation. This ranges from adjusting the amount of energy that can be used per lap to increasing the power of the internal combustion engine to restore the balance. It's a delicate balancing act. Intervening too quickly could have unforeseen consequences and undermine the technical philosophy of the new regulations. Waiting too long could damage the spectacle and alienate fans from the sport. The division in the paddock is telling. While drivers like Norris and Verstappen are sounding the alarm, team bosses like Wheatley and Vigna are defending the new rules. Wheatley, whose Audi team entered the sport precisely because of these regulations, thought the race in Melbourne was great. He saw a fascinating energy battle and dismissed the criticism from his former colleague Verstappen. It's a clash of perspectives. The pure racer versus the strategist, the driver versus the engineer. Whatever the outcome, it's clear that Formula One is in a crucial phase. The first race of a new era should have been a celebration of innovation and progress. Instead, it has become a source of controversy and dissatisfaction. The sport has maneuvered itself into a difficult position in an attempt to remain relevant in a changing world. The question is whether, in their pursuit of sustainability and technological advancement, they have not lost sight of the essence of racing. The upcoming races will provide the answer. The eyes of the entire racing world are on the FIA. The future of Formula One hangs in the balance.